That could do it. Fly ball to center. Perkins has it.
What happens when a runaway freight train of a team that seemingly forgot how to lose, slams head-on into a pitcher who seemed literally unbeatable? What happens when a beloved slugger steps up to the plate with the chance to etch his name into franchise history forever? And what happens when a single game gives you a triple play, a go-ahead home run from a global superstar, and a walk-off ending you have to see to believe? Well, you're about to find out. We've got all that and so much more from an absolutely wild day of baseball. You have found the best place for your daily baseball fix. Welcome back to Baseball Extra. Let's get right into the biggest story of the day, a story brewing in Milwaukee. We have to talk about the Brewers. For the second time this season, they've ripped off an incredible 11-game winning streak. But this 11th win, this one was different. This was a statement. They were marching into a showdown with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but more specifically, they were marching into a showdown with a phenomenon, the raging hot Paul Skeenies. Now, let's set the stage properly so you understand the magnitude of this matchup. Paul Skeenies wasn't just having a good season heading into this game. He was having a historically great season. He was the undisputed best pitcher in baseball. He led all of Major League Baseball with a minuscule 1.94 ERA. His command was pinpoint, racking up 162 strikeouts while issuing only 34 walks. He was a monster. And there was this other incredible stat, a testament to his immediate dominance from the moment he steps on the mound. In the first inning of his starts, Paul Skeenies had not given up a single run. All season long. That's 24 straight starts with a scoreless first inning. That's the second longest streak of all time, trailing only a record set by Bob Shockley way back in 1923. So, when the Brewers' leadoff hitter stepped into the box, he was facing a legend in the making, a pitcher who was practically automatic in the first frame. But the Brewers' first batter of the game was Sal Frelick. They call him the hit collector. And you know what? The hit collector doesn't care about your fancy streaks or your historical records. The hit collector just does his job. He collects hits. The at-bat was a battle. Skeenies was throwing fire, as he always does. The count ran deep. On the seventh pitch of the at-bat, Frelick connected. It's a fly ball driven deep to right field. It's carrying, and it's gone. A leadoff home run. Sal Frelick has done the impossible. Just like that, the streak is over. The record is shattered, and the Brewers have an immediate 1-0 lead. What a way to start a ball game. That's how you send a message. The best team in baseball showed up to play from the very first pitch, and right now, they are riding their second 10-game winning streak of the season. But they were far from done. The Brewers' offense was relentless. In the third inning, it was the all-star catcher, William Contreras, who stepped up and ripped a double, scoring another run to make it 2-0. You could feel the momentum building in the stadium. Skeenies, for the first time in a long time, looked human. He looked vulnerable. Then came the fourth inning. The batter was Bryce Terang. So nice, they named him Bryce. He came to the plate, and on a pitch he liked, he absolutely unloaded. Terang sends one flying to deep center field. There's no doubt about that one. Another day, another bomb from Bryce Terang. That ball was crushed, a solo shot to extend the lead to 3-0. For Paul Skeenies, this was uncharted territory. It was only the third time in his entire professional career that he had allowed multiple home runs in a single game. The Brewers were doing something that no other team could. They weren't finished with him yet. Before Skeenies' night was over, Sal Frelick, the man who started it all, came up again and delivered an RBI single. When the dust settled, Paul Skeenies, the best pitcher on the planet, had been tagged for 4 total runs. Think about this. In just 2 starts against the Milwaukee Brewers this year, Skeenies has now given up a total of 8 earned runs. Against the rest of the league, he's a ghost. Against the Brewers, he's just another pitcher. His ERA, which was a stunning 1.94, ballooned to a still elite, but for him, an almost embarrassing 2.13. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, Brewers ace Freddie Peralta was simply magnificent. He was dealing. He pitched 6 shutout innings, striking out 7 Pirates and earning his 14th win of the season. He was the perfect pitcher to have on the mound to support this offensive explosion. And just to put an exclamation point on the night, Christian Yelich decided to join the home run party, launching his 23rd dinger of the season. The runs just kept coming. When the final out was recorded, it was a complete and utter rout. The final score, Milwaukee Brewers 14, Pittsburgh Pirates 0. The Brewers are now an almost unbelievable 75-44 on the season. They have won 11 straight games for the second time this year. They are a force of nature. They cannot be stopped. If you're a fan, go get a bratwurst and celebrate. Heck, buy a mansion in Wisconsin. But if you're a baseball fan anywhere, it's time to start watching their games. This is one of the biggest stories in our MLB Highlights Roundup for a reason. All right, from a team making history, let's go to a player making history. Let's travel to Queens, New York, where the Mets have been going through a really tough stretch. Let's face it, they have not been playing well. Coming into Tuesday's game against the rival Atlanta Braves, they had lost 7 straight games. Their starting pitchers were struggling to even get through the 5th inning. The mood was down. The team needed something, anything, to go right. They needed a spark. They needed something to get the fans at Citi Field out of their seats and believing again. Well, in the 3rd inning, with the Mets holding a 3-1 lead, the perfect man for the moment stepped up to the plate. Pete Alonso, the polar bear. And he wasn't just any batter in the lineup that night. He was a batter on the verge of immortality. He was sitting on 252 career home runs, one shy of becoming the greatest slugger in the entire history of the New York Mets. The stage was set. The pitch came in. Pete Alonso swung. Pete drives one to deep right center field, headed back to the wall. It's gone. History. Pete Alonso stands alone. The polar bear, on his own private iceberg, is the most prolific home run hitter in New York Mets history. What a moment. With that one swing, Alonso hit his 253rd home run as a Met, passing the legendary Darryl Strawberry for the most by any player to ever wear the uniform. The crowd at Citi Field went absolutely insane. For a team that desperately needed a jolt of energy, this was like a lightning strike. And because he's Pete Alonso, one wasn't enough. Later in the game, he'd hit a second dinger, his 28th of the year, to bring his career total to 254. It was an offensive explosion for the Mets, who hit 6 home runs in total, including 2 more from Francisco Alvarez, on their way to a massive 13-5 win. After the game, an emotional Alonso talked about what the moment meant to him. He said, "Growing up as a kid, you never really put yourself in the mind where you could potentially be a franchise leader one day in home runs. That just doesn't really cross your mind, and it's just really special. What a blessing. What a gift it is to play this game at this level. What a gift it is to hit it at home in front of you guys. So thank you guys." You can just hear the emotion in his voice. This wasn't just another home run. This was legacy. And more importantly for the team, the victory was huge. It snapped that ugly 7-game losing streak and kept them 2 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds in the 3rd National League wildcard spot. This isn't just a personal milestone. It's a huge piece of baseball news that could turn their season around. Okay, buckle up. Because what happened in the freeway series between the Los Angeles Angels and the Los Angeles Dodgers was pure, unadulterated baseball chaos. Do you like triple plays? Do you like Shohei Ohtani home runs? Do you like dramatic, walk-off endings? Because this one game had it all. Let's go to the top of the 6th inning. The game is tied 5-5. The Dodgers, a powerhouse team, were making some noise. They had runners on first and second with only 1 out. And the man stepping up to the plate was none other than their billion-dollar superstar, the Angels' former icon, Shohei Ohtani. It was the ultimate nightmare scenario for the Angels and their fans. How could they possibly escape this jam without giving up the lead? Well, there was one way, the most improbable way. The pitcher delivered. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, Ohtani swings. It's a line drive, snagged by the second baseman. He steps on second for the double play, throws to first. He got him. It's a triple play. A triple play. The Angels turned a triple play with Shohei Ohtani at the bat. Unbelievable, a pitcher's best friend. It was just the 8th triple play in the entire history of the Angels franchise, and one of the smoothest, quickest you will ever see. The stadium erupted. It was a Houdini act of the highest order. But you know Shohei Ohtani. You know he wasn't going to let that be his only highlight of the night. That would be embarrassing. So, naturally, in his very next at-bat, he sought redemption. The game is still tied, but now it's late. He's facing the veteran closer, Kenley Jansen. The 1-0 pitch comes in, and it is crushed. No doubt about that one. Shohei Ohtani with a go-ahead home run. He got his revenge. It's his 43rd home run of the year, and it gives the Dodgers a 6-5 lead. It seemed like that would be the dagger. The superstar gets out of a jam he created and then puts his team ahead. Storybook stuff. But the Angels, playing for pride against their crosstown rivals, refused to quit. They battled back to tie the game on a sacrifice fly, sending it to extra innings. In the bottom of the 10th, with the ghost runner on second, a perfect bunt by Christian Moore moved the winning run to third base. That brought Joe Adele to the plate. The tension was thick. And then, one of the wildest walk-offs you'll see. Adele hits a high chopper, a wild Baltimore chop right over the head of third baseman Max Muncy. The run comes in to score. The Angels walk it off, 7-6. The Angels are now a perfect 5-0 against the mighty Dodgers this year. And with that stunning loss, the Dodgers fall out of sole possession of first place in the NL West and now find themselves in a tie for the top spot with the San Diego Padres, who knocked off the Giants 5-1. What a game. What a rivalry. Elsewhere around the league, the drama in the division races is heating up. In the American League West, the Seattle Mariners entered Tuesday just one game behind the Houston Astros for first place. They hadn't been in first since way back on June 3rd. Their ace, George Kirby, took the mound and he pitched like he was on a mission. Kirby was magnificent, going 7 scoreless innings, allowing just 3 hits while striking out 7 in a nail-biting 1-0 Seattle win. And that win was massive, because at the same time, the Astros were getting absolutely blown out, 14-1, by the Boston Red Sox. And just like that, the Seattle Mariners are now tied for first place in the Out West. To make matters even worse for Astros fans, some terrible news dropped. Their superstar closer, Josh Hader, was placed on the 15-day injured list with a shoulder strain. A huge blow to their bullpen. Over in the Out Central, don't count out the Cleveland Guardians just yet. Jose Ramirez hit not 1, but 2 home runs to give the Guardians a huge 4-3 win over the Marlins. That was Jose Ramirez's 27th career multi-homer game, which set a new club record, breaking a tie with franchise legends Jim Thome and Albert Bell. An incredible achievement for one of the most underrated superstars in the game. The Toronto Blue Jays got their 70th win of the year, the best mark in the American League, beating the Cubs 5-1. Jose Berrios was solid on the mound, and the Jays maintained their 4.5-game lead in the AL East. And finally, some good news for the New York Yankees. Aaron Judge is officially back from the injured list, and he announced his return by belting his 38th home run of the year in a 9-1 stomping of the Minnesota Twins. Carlos Rodon was brilliant on the mound, giving up just 1 run over 7 innings. After a tough stretch, the question is being asked in the Bronx. Are the Yankees back? They just might be. For any other news and scores you might have missed, you can always head on over to MLB.com. And that is going to do it for our show today here at Baseball Extra. What a day of incredible action. A historic winning streak continues in dominant fashion. A new home run king is crowned in New York. And a Freeway Series game that gave us every kind of drama imaginable. So, who should you be watching tomorrow? Well, the answer is obvious. The Milwaukee Brewers, of course. They'll be on during lunchtime, so you can grab a bite to eat while you watch the hottest team in baseball try to make it 12 straight wins. Brandon Woodruff will take the mound against Mitch Keller. A 12-game streak would be their longest since they started the 1987 season 13-0. You won't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into all the latest MLB highlights and baseball news, and you appreciate the authentic analysis we bring you, do us a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, make sure you click subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update from us here at Baseball Extra. We love talking baseball with you, and we appreciate your support. Enjoy all the games today, and we'll see you in the next one.